good Raw tonight. You know, can't complain too much. How's it going? I'm Jay Shady and you are listening to the voice of reason. Yeah, so yesterday was a shit show, you know. Pretty bad. It disappointed and it failed. You can check out my review last night for what I thought about the show. So thankfully tonight was actually a pretty good Raw. Yeah, there was some shit segments, some shit matches, some boring stuff. But you know what? For Raw, this actually had a lot of enjoyable stuff. More enjoyable stuff than you usually get on Raw. So you know what? I can't complain too much in this video. As much as you want me to rant and yell, you know, and as much as I want to, I really can't that much this time. But still, there's some stuff I could yell about. So it opens up with John Cena coming out and him cutting a promo about how he's going to face The Rock at WrestleMania. And then CM Punk comes out and says that John Cena is not going to be facing The Rock. It's going to be CM Punk, and how John Cena's having that spot is bullshit because it belongs to CM Punk. And then John Cena says something along the lines of CM Punk is just upset because for once it's not about CM Punk. Oh, that's good, John. That's very funny. That's a very funny joke, John. Yeah, because, you know, Raw for the past 10 years has all been about CM Punk, you know. He's the poster boy, you know. Back in 2012, it was CM Punk main eventing every pay-per-view, right? Oh, wait, no. CM Punk wasn't main eventing every pay-per-view, even though he was champion the whole year. Who was that again? Oh, yeah, that's right. That was you, John, asshole, dumbass. It's not all about CM Punk this time for once. Give me a fucking break, you PG dumb cocksucker. Everything is about you. Why can't it for once not be about you? Oh, John Cena has to be the one to take out the Shield. John Cena has to be the one to take out the Nexus. John Cena's got to be the guy to suck Bret Hart's dick every time he comes back. John Cena's got to be the one to get John Laurinaitis fired, even though that was clearly CM Punk's storyline. And clearly CM Punk should have been the one to get Johnny Ace fired. But no, it all has to be about little PG John Cena Superman, yeah. Let's make everything about this guy. And he has the fucking balls to say for once it's not about CM Punk. Fuck this guy. That was fucking retarded. But anyway, CM Punk says that he doesn't feel like watching a Deja Vu rerun match. And I agree. So, I mean, he is the voice of the voiceless in this part. Nobody wants to see this shit for the second time. Face Cena versus face Rock. So, and then he says that he wants John Cena out of his life to walk out of the ring and just leave wrestling and stay out of our lives. Yes, please, John, do us all a favor. Get out of the wrestling ring, hang up your little jean shorts, hang up your little armbands, and walk the fuck out. You know, go fuck some porn stars. Get in the porn business or something. Nobody wants you here. Maybe you could do some more moves on porn stars than you can in a wrestling ring. Anyway, yeah, this was the segment. Cena was very boring in this segment. You know, he was very, like, low, like a monotone voice, trying to be all serious, but it didn't come off that way. And basically, this segment worked to a match with Punk versus Cena next week for Cena's spot at WrestleMania. So if Punk wins the match, he gets to be the guy to face The Rock. If Cena wins the match, obviously Cena is the guy to face The Rock at the spot for WrestleMania. And this whole thing, it's like, I don't know, they just seem lost with what to do for CM Punk. It's like they're stalling as to what storyline they want to go with CM Punk, because, you know, they don't know if they want to do a triple threat match. They don't know if Undertaker's going to come back to have him face The Undertaker, so they're just like, oh, you know what, let's just make up some storylines and make up some matches, you know, just in case, to have a backup plan, because we don't know what's going on with CM Punk in the WrestleMania picture. And that's what it's coming off as, you know. Where is this match coming from? You know, why is CM Punk fighting John Cena for John Cena's WrestleMania spot? Why can't you just fucking announce it as a triple threat match? You have to go, you know, dance around the fucking situation. Why don't you just address it? Just address it. Oh, we don't know what the fuck we have for CM Punk. Whatever, it was a good opening segment. It sets the matchup for next week. It's pretty obviously John Cena's not going to lose, but I don't know what they're doing with CM Punk. I don't think they know what they're doing with CM Punk for WrestleMania. They don't know if they're going to get Taker back or put him in a triple threat match. Just put him in the triple threat match. Jesus Christ, it's not going to make your little, you know, Rock Cena match any worse. It's going to make it better. Anyway, next we got a segment with Sheamus and Ryback, you know, like yelling at each other over the match from last night. And then Y2J comes in and breaks it up with them. And Chris Jericho talks about how they have to take out the Shield, and how the Shield reminds him of like the NWO Nexus. But like, this was just so out of place for Y2J. I mean, this guy's been back for 3 weeks. The Shield's never attacked him. Why is he like feel offended by the Shield? Why is he like going against the Shield and say we gotta beat them? It's like I love Jericho, but it's like it's like uncomfortable. It's like I don't understand why Jericho's in this segment. It's like, do you really have nothing for Jericho to do right now? I would understand if this was leading towards a heel turn in his match to face Ryback or something at WrestleMania. But in the match, he didn't do a heel turn. So why is Jericho going against the Shield? Shouldn't it be Randy Orton, if anybody else? So apparently WWE doesn't know what the fuck they're doing still. So there you go. Then we have Mark Henry versus Sin Cara. This was a squash match, but it was an enjoyable squash match because I like seeing Sin Cara get the fucking shit beat out of him by Mark Henry. I really you know, I'm not gonna make believe I'm Mark Henry's #1 fan all of a sudden, but I am a lot more interested in the guy. I mean, he's a monster. He's fucking taking apart everybody in the locker room, and that's something you just don't get from people these days, especially heels. All they do is fucking run away. Here's a guy that actually beats the shit out of people. So a good squash match from Henry. And then Great Khali comes to make the save. You know, this big bumbling retard. He can't even walk down the ramp. He walks like this, like fucking Frankenstein's monster, you know? It takes him like 10 minutes to get down the ramp. And then Mark Henry just leaves the ring because he's too fucking good to even wrestle with Great Khali. And I agree, you know? And then Mark Henry makes fun of his little Punjabi dancing. You know, Mark Henry is like the best he's ever been right now. You know, he's so much more intriguing than the rest of these fucking guys on the roster. So basically, yeah, Great Khali doesn't even deserve to be in the same fucking ring as Mark Henry. That's what that whole segment was about. So, pretty good segment. Then you got Cesaro versus The Miz for the 24th time in the past 2 months. You know, why are we supposed to pay for pay-per-views when we're going to get the same exact match the next fucking night on free TV? Does that make sense, you know? And this match was better than the pay-per-view match, so where's the logic, you know? The pay-per-view match was a lot of rest holds. This was, you know, no disqualification. It was a lot more physical, a lot more, you know, intense stuff. You know, the chair almost taking fucking Antonio Cesaro's ribs out. Yeah, it was a pretty good match. It wasn't that long. Miz picks up the win, like, out of nowhere. He was getting pretty beat up, and then all of a sudden he gets the figure 4 on Cesaro. So whatever, but I didn't understand the ending there because it just came out of nowhere. But it was a pretty good match, much better than their match from last night. But how many times are we gonna see this match? You know. Then we get a little like segment from Zeb and Jack Swagger, a YouTube video they did on immigrants and how immigrants are taking over America, filling up all of our housing. And, you know, I said 2 weeks ago when they introduced this, I'm interested with this angle, you know? Yeah, I bitched about Jack Swagger winning the Elimination Chamber just because I don't see him main eventing WrestleMania yet, you know? Like, let him work up to it, you know? All of a sudden putting him in a big spot like this. But yeah, I do like this angle a lot, you know? It reminds me a lot of the old school WWE, like, you know, when they did stuff on relevant topics, when they were culturally relevant, you know? There's a lot of this stuff with, you know, people crossing the border, people, illegal aliens, and they're addressing this, and I like it a lot. It reminds me a lot of, like, the Attitude Era and, like, the 80s, like a mesh of them, you know, when you had people like the Un-Americans after 9/11 and La Resistance. You had, like, Sergeant Slaughter, like, go for the Iraqi people and go against America during the 90s when there's that Middle Eastern crisis. So yeah, you know, I like it a lot. It's culturally relevant. You know, it's something that people could get invested to. And, you know, for once we have like a clear-cut heel and a clear-cut face, you know. A lot of times these heels, like, they're just like stale, you know, so people don't boo them. This is a guy that everybody could boo because he's saying like a bunch of racist shit. So you want to see Alberto Del Rio kick his ass because you're rooting for real good versus real evil here. So I like it, you know. All I was bitching about for the Elimination Chamber was that this match shouldn't be a World Heavyweight title match yet, you know? But I do like the whole Jack Swagger, Zeb thing. I like where they're going with this. It's a lot more controversial than anything they did in a long, long time. Then you get a segment with Daniel Bryan and Kane, and it's really fucking kiddie. They have to break this fucking team up. They're making Daniel Bryan look to be a fucking retard. He's like, for my match, I don't want you walking to the ring with me. I'm gonna go without you. Like a little fucking 5-year-old kid. I mean, they want to appeal so much to kids that they want the wrestlers to seem like kids. It's disgusting. And Randy Orton's there, all homoerotic and shit. But he says like that Kane doesn't scare him anymore. Instead of the big red monster, he reminds him of Barney the dinosaur. And I fucking agree. This guy used to be so scary. This guy used to be so badass with the old school mask and the old school sleeves, you know. And just like he didn't talk, or whenever he talked with a thing like this, DX, you know. Now he's just a laughing goofball, you know. So this sets up a match later on for Randy Orton versus Kane or whatever. Then we get Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio. This was a pretty good match. And you know, Alberto Del Rio has obviously been adding a lot of moves into his repertoire, but I don't understand why he has to be a face in order to do so. You know, he's been a heel. What, he's not allowed to do some cool fucking moves because he's a heel? The heels have to look like absolute shit? You know, only when you're a face you could, you know, add some moves into your repertoire. What kind of logic is that? Make the heels look like shit so, you know, the audiences can't hate them? That doesn't make sense, you know? If the heels look like shit, what opposition do they bring to the faces? They look like jokes. But yeah, I like a lot of, you know, the new moves that Alberto Del Rio is doing. I like it a lot. You know, he did some like vicious looking like face buster reverse suplex thing off the turnbuckle to Dolph Ziggler. Pretty good match. Alberto Del Rio gets the win, and then a little shocker, a fake shocker, a little hoax. They had Biggie Langston he beat up Alberto Del Rio and crush him, and then Dolph Ziggler was trying to cash in the Money in the Bank at that spot, and I was jumping out of my chair. I was like, holy shit, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do it? But Ricardo Rodriguez steals the briefcase and runs away with it. And by the time he tries to cash in, Alberto Del Rio gets up and does an enziguri to Dolph Ziggler. I thought that was a good fake out, you know, a good, you know, get you out of your seat and think something's about to happen only for it to not. So that was the good match and a good post-match segment. I liked it a lot. Then you get Wade Barrett promo. He's promoting his new movie, Dead Man Down, that he's like not even in the fucking trailer for. He's talking about he's the main star. And during the whole trailer, you don't even fucking see him in the movie. Yeah, that's great promotion there. And then like Sheamus interrupts him and says, we have to cut the segment. Like, where's this? Why is Sheamus cutting off Wade Barrett? When are these guys feuding all of a sudden? It's like WWE has no idea what to do. So they're like, oh, hey, Sheamus, come here. We have a segment for you to do real fast. Just interrupt Wade Barrett. Yeah. That'll make up for some TV time. And then you get an ad for fucking Power Slammers, the fucking action figures that look like they're having seizures. Cole and Lawler are like fucking 4-year-old kids giggling like, ooh, this is fun. Like playing with action figures, like, guys, you're like 60 years old. Why are you playing with action figures? And then, of course, you get, oh shit, not again. This fucking guy is here again. Get out of my house. Hey guys, Good Wrestling Fan here. Did you miss me? Bet you did. Well, I'm back, baby. And I've come through because I have to talk about this great match we got here tonight. You know, last week's match with Brodus, Clay, and Tensai versus Epico and Primo was so good. Was such a 5-star instant classic match that we got it again tonight, guys. This is awesome. Once isn't enough. Hell, twice isn't enough. Let's get it next week, too. I really want to see that. However, this match, tonight's match, wasn't as good as last week's because this match was an intergender mixed tag team match. There were 2 girls involved. Ew. And I hate girls. Ugh. Ew, girls there. Like, they had boobs. Like, their boobs were out. And, like, you could see a little bit of their ass. I was so disgusted I had to turn away at times. Because, you know, I just like guys. I like fat men that dance and get all sweaty and have little Japanese symbols on their face. Oh my god, I die for that. I love that stuff. But besides the girls, this stuff was great, guys. I would give it 4.5 stars. A half a star is lost because they had 2 girls in it. And I don't like girls. Lucky! Anyway, there you go. Great match. Great match. Was so much better than that Shield versus Y2J and Sheamus and Ryback match. I mean, the Shield wins. Does that make any sense? They're bad guys. They're not supposed to win. Obviously, Sheamus is supposed to win because he's a good guy, the WWE. What's wrong with you? But there you go. I'm Good Wrestling Fan, and this has been the PG match of the night. And by the way, did you see those Body Slammers action figures? They look so cool. I'm going to Toys R Us tomorrow to get some and fight with them. And you know, put them all around my crotch area and stuff. Because I want Brodus Clay to be around my crotch area. Yeah, so there you go. Good Wrestling Fan. But before I'm out, you know what it's time for. Hit my music.
What you say now? What you got? What you got for me?
I'm sorry for that. Apparently, this guy just likes coming in and spreading his PG propaganda every fucking Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna have to lock my doors. I really am. Anyway, you get an announcement that WrestleMania 30 is gonna be at New Orleans. And you know, there was like talk that WWE wasn't sure if they wanted to do the title numbers WrestleMania XXX because that might be too risque. Ooh, the little kids might think porn. Ooh, that's not good. But eventually they did. They're naming it WrestleMania XXX. And you know, back in the day, you know, they would like profit off this shit. They would use it to their advantage. You know, they would have like, you know, strippers on dance poles at the entrances for the matches. You know, they would probably have some porn stars as special guests, you know. And today they're scared to even use the fucking letters XXX. Whatever. It's going to be at New Orleans. If you're from New Orleans, congratulations. Then you get a State of the Union address from Jack Swagger and Zeb. More anti-immigrant stuff, good stuff, you know, good controversial stuff. And they, you know, talk about how Alberto Del Rio came here, you know, and it was just like handed everything, you know, like taking away jobs and shit. More anti-immigrant stuff. And then Daniel Bryan comes out and we get a match with Daniel Bryan versus Jack Swagger. It was a good match. It wasn't great or anything. It went on for a little bit. It was okay, you know. Wasn't 5 stars or anything, but it was decent. It wasn't like I was like getting totally bored of it. Jack Swagger picks up the victory as he should, make him look strong going into his WrestleMania match. All right. Then we get Vicky Guerrero coming out with Paul Heyman. She tells him that she's going to announce something that will ruin his career or change his career or some shit. And she announces Brad Maddox as the assistant to her or assisting manager of some shit. I don't know. But he didn't get a reaction at all. You know, I like Brad Maddox. He's like, it's like, I don't know. He's like, it's something different, you know. I'm not sure why I like him, but he's just like kind of different in some way. But anyway, the real big announcement from this is Vince McMahon gets on the Titantron via satellite and says that he's gonna next week he's gonna be at Raw and he's gonna fight Paul Heyman. I don't know if that means in a match or like some competition or some fist fight, but apparently he's gonna fight Paul Heyman. And this crowd was totally fucking dead tonight, you know. Back in the Attitude Era, you know, Vince McMahon announcing that he's gonna fight Paul Heyman, people would fucking go out of their fucking minds and cheer and pop like crazy. This didn't get a reaction whatsoever. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, you know, that the fans just don't give a shit anymore with all this shit that they're being fed. It's like, I don't fucking care. Or if it's that, you know, that it's just a bunch of families at fucking the Raw events and it's just a bunch of, like, kids forcing their parents so they're not invested in this shit. The kids are like, who the fuck is Vince McMahon? Who's Paul Heyman? I don't understand this. But yeah, this got no reaction whatsoever, whereas back in the day, people would be shitting their pants for this. And then you get the Shield versus Y2J, Sheamus, and Ryback. And this match was 20 times fucking better than last night's match. You know, take out Cena and replace him with Y2J and you get a great fucking match. This is the problem with Cena, you know. He brings down the quality of matches so much. Just look at this. All you had to do in a 6-man match was switch one guy and all of a sudden it's a very entertaining match. Very back and forth, you know. A lot of near falls, and I love the Shield. They're like, when they're on action in matches and stuff, when they're not doing their typical beatdowns, a lot of their actions like crazy, frenetic, like, you know, like jittery stuff, and I like it a lot. It's a lot different to the, you know, the WWE style of, you know, wrestling. But one thing I didn't like in this match was the fucking camera angles. It's like when the Shield is on offense, it's like camera angles are going all over the fucking place. They're like trying to, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to match the, you know, the frenetic like style of the Shield and the crazy shaky style that they have. but it just makes you sick watching the match. It's like those action movies today where it's a lot of fast-paced shit and a bunch of camera cuts, but it makes you sick watching. You don't know what's happened. You're missing a lot of the action, so I think they have to stop doing that shit. But besides that, very good match. Like you're expecting a Jericho heel turn because it makes no sense why he's in this match, but you don't get it. But anyway, it ends with Y2J doing the Walls of Jericho, I think, to Ambrose, and then Seth Rollins does a fucking sick-looking knee to the head off the turnbuckle to Jericho. It looked like he made a lot of contact with Jericho. It was awesome looking, and Ambrose gets the pin on Jericho. So there, the Shield's first 3 matches, they get 3 clean victories. Very impressed with WWE actually pushing this heel team. Usually they just bury heels. Look at the Nexus, you know. So I was very impressed with the outcome of this match, and 100 times better than last night's match. Very, very good match. And then you got Damien Sandow versus Kofi Kingston. It wasn't even a match. It was just like Damien Sandow just beat the shit out of him before the bell even rang. And it was just a segment to bring R-Truth back. R-Truth makes the save, beats up Sandow, and saves Kofi Kingston. So, Lil Jimmy's back, guys. Yay, I'm so fucking ready for these Invisible Child segments. I'm excited. Then you get Randy Orton versus Kane for the 96th time. You know, who's been dying to see this match, you know? How many times do they have to do this match? This is the problem. They have such a low amount of, you know, people on their roster and so many shows that they're having the same matches every other fucking week. How many times have Randy Orton and Kane faced? And it's the same typical Randy Orton versus Kane match. It was slow. It was pretty boring, you know. Typical Randy Orton fashion in the end. And then you get Daniel Bryan coming out distracting Kane and Randy Orton with RKO from out of nowhere. Every time it's from out of nowhere. Why can't it just be an expected RKO? It's always got to be from out of nowhere. But yeah, whatever. This match was like easily like the least good match of the night. And then, last but not least, you get The Rock. And again, throughout the whole fucking night, they're hyping up The Rock for the last segment. Why can't... He's the fucking champion. The champion. Why can't this guy do things throughout the show? You know, don't you want to feature your champion, you know, throughout the show? I know you want to make people stick around to see The Rock at the end, but you could do different things, you know? Have some backstage segments with the guy. You know, all he does is, you know, he shows up for 10 minutes at the end and that's it. But he brings out a marching band, and it's a celebration. And I was going to, oh my god, I was going to rip this. I was going to rip the shit out of the idea of Rock having a championship celebration with a marching band and shit. But I won't because of what it was for. You see, I was thinking, oh, Rock's going to have just another celebration of, yay, I'm the champion. Why do we have to celebrate just because somebody successfully did a title defense and won the match, you know? Does, you know, CM Punk, does John Cena celebrate every time they win a match? But it wasn't about that. It was about bringing a new one of these babies. So The Rock comes out with a marching band. And he starts talking about the spinner belt on his shoulder. And he announces that it's time for a new title. That the WWE Championship should never look like a toy. Yeah, that's what John Cena did to us. He made a prestigious title look like a fucking toy. Some shit that you get at Kmart all blinged out and it spins. Woo! And he said a WWE Championship title should never fucking spin. Yes! It should never spin. It should never look like a toy. You know? And then he says he's going to add some prestige back to it. You know, you have people like Stone Cold and Bruno Sammartino, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. You know, these people having prestigious titles, and he's going to bring some prestige back. And he unveils the title. Now, I'll post the link of the title under the video if you haven't seen Raw. I'm not going to judge the title, though. It looks different. It looks a lot different. It's very different than any WWE title that we've seen before. It's big. It's loud. The emblem here looks like a ring. There's a big it was basically the same title design as the one we saw that they posted on Rumors last week. You know, that gold, not last week, last year, that CM Punk said the title looks bad, the new title looks bad. That, you know, that golden glob of big fucking vomit. But they made it look a lot better than that. It doesn't look nearly as bad as that title did. It was all gold. You know, they added some black to it. I could have did without the diamonds though. You know, they have the diamonds for the WW and diamonds all around. I could have did without that. But I don't know. I'm not going to rip on a fucking title yet, you know. At least it's not the fucking spinner belt. You know, I'm sure everybody on the YWC, 9 out of 10 people, you know, are going to say, oh my god, this title's a piece of shit. This isn't a step up from the spinner belt. This is worse, you know. It's just typical YWC hypocrisy, you know. They ask for something, they get it, and they just fucking bitch and moan and complain about it and don't appreciate anything new that they get. So I'm not going to do that. I will say it's not as, you know, pretty looking as this baby right here. Not at all. This is prestige, motherfucker. But I will say it looks different, and I'll see if it grows on me, you know. It's not that bad looking. You know, we'll see how it looks on other people. We'll see how they present it. It has Brahma Bull emblems on the side, so they're probably going to change that whenever John Cena beats The Rock. So, there you go, a new title. At least we fucking got it. So stop fucking bitching about that. It looks like shit. It looks different. Give it a chance. Then you get Rock saying there's only one person he wants to face at WrestleMania, and he doesn't get to say who it is. John Cena comes out. This is, before this, he had somebody bring the old spinner belt to the back. So John Cena comes out, and then from behind, CM Punk with the spinner belt title hits John Cena in the back. And just like the awesomeness that CM Punk does, you know, he throws the fucking spinner belt on the fucking ground like it's fucking worthless piece of shit. Throws it on the steel, because that's what it is. It's worthless piece of shit, that fucking spinner belt. Fuck you, John Cena, for bringing that shit into the WWE, destroying prestigious looking titles. And he says he wants The Rock's title. That's the title he wants. So again, they're just stalling with CM Punk. These writers don't know what they want to do. Add him to the triple threat match or not. You know, they're like, are we gonna have him face The Undertaker or be in the triple threat match? You know, from here at the end, it looks like CM Punk is still going for that title. So just make it a triple threat match. It's not hard. But there you go. So pretty good show tonight. Can't complain too much, you know. When you get good shit like on, you know, throughout the show like this, it makes you less critical of the stupid shit that you get. And this is what Raw should do every time. Have some good matches. Have a great match like The Shield versus Y2J and his those guys. And, you know, some good segments. And, you know, and also the Jack Swagger and Zeb thing. Some controversy. So there you go. Good show. Can't complain too much about it. Definitely check it out if you haven't. And I'm excited for next week. Next week we have John Cena versus CM Punk for the WrestleMania spot. And Vince versus Paul Heyman. We'll see if Brock Lesnar comes back and Triple H comes back. And we'll see what happens with CM Punk. If Undertaker comes back or he's going to put in the title picture. If they decide next fucking week, which they should start deciding, because WrestleMania isn't that fucking far away. But there you go. There's my review. I'm Jay Shady. Spitting the truth as always. The voice of reason, baby. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.